Now, before we get into packing out one of the most annoying and insufferable people out there today, be sure to leave a like before we even start this to let me know that you don't like Adin Ross and are just as tired of him as I am. And now, with that said, when it comes to Adin Ross right now, with the streaming world's least favorite chair sniffer and generational grifter, Adin really went so far that all of hip-hop is stepping in and collectively doing the work to make sure that this vulture can never speak this loud on the genre again. And now, with this, there is no longer anywhere to hide for Adin Ross, because with the entire world of hip-hop staring him down, when you really start to see what's going on and what the grift is, you will see just how terrible this guy is for hip-hop and how he has been a part of a targeted effort to try and sabotage and ruin the name and reputation of Doe-Eye. And now, before we go any further into all of this, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe while you're at it, so everyone can see why Adin Ross is one of the worst things that has ever happened to rap music, and why his career is about to go up when all of this is exposed. And so now, with that said, when it comes to Adin Ross and the controversy he is in, well, every single problem he just created, and what is forever going to change his perception in all of hip-hop, and not just on the side that already hated him, all comes from the moment that when asked to talk about Doe-Eye on one of his awful streams, Adin went viral for crashing out and saying this.
Been streaming for like a long time now. Doechii, the umbrella clip me off. What an entitled, unintelligent piece of shit he is, bro. She deserves, bro. I'm not joking, bro. Stop listening to her music. Cardi and Abel, why would you give her a feature on a remix? You shouldn't have cleared it. She's just the worst. She's a piece. She stole someone that I used to know. She makes no good music. She's horrible. Jake Future, what's up, my dog? Doechii, okay? She has zero talent.
And I mean, when you watch this crash out with Adin's specific words, what an entitled, unintelligent piece of she is. And with him also saying she has zero talent, literally being heard everywhere. Well, first off, I think Adin needs to look in the mirror, because it really sounds like he is describing himself here when he is saying that somebody is entitled, unintelligent, and a piece of something. And while it's one thing to say that you don't like somebody as an artist or for whatever thing that they do professionally is, and really in Adin's case, even if it was harsh, he could have said that he didn't like her music, because although it just would have ended up being another trash hip-hop take that he made, I mean, we are allowed to critique and criticize things, but obviously with what Adin said, it just goes beyond all that, because when you hear the hatred and almost disgust that's in his voice when he is talking about Doe-Eye, and even with how bad the words we hear him used were, it sounds like he wanted to say some other stuff too, which would even be more off-putting and would have definitely caused him to be cancelled forever altogether, with how personal and below the belt these insults go with the names that Adin is calling Doechii, or any other person for that matter. He crosses a line and does it bad, because this is not music criticism or any sort of critique of art or her as a rapper. And it's just something so beyond that, because really with what he said, you would think that Doechii would have done something horrible to him, because regular people don't talk this bad about somebody without a purpose, and without actually having any sort of real animosity between them. With this, of course, everybody saw this clip as it went absolutely viral, because aside from the weird group of grifter-loving individuals whose favorite people are Adin Ross Drake, and that set of brothers that Adin sniffed one of their chairs actually for the rest of everybody, who's definitely checked into reality, everyone saw this clip and just wrote off Adin Ross more than they ever have. Because you can just see with this so clearly, and really more than ever, that somebody has never belonged further away from having the ability to speak about hip-hop. Because if you have any respect for rap music, you just wouldn't say that she has zero talent. And you would never use that tone and words that Adin did right here. But really right now, with all the outrage, while everybody is busy yelling at Adin and trying to just push him further and further away from hip-hop culture, what a lot of people are missing is that when you think about all of this and think about the tone and demeanor that Adin used here, if you think beyond the surface and remember who this guy really is, and specifically what I mean by that who he literally was on the phone with the night before this happened on his stream, well, really just like all these grifting streamers who are just the worst thing that we have in the content space today. No matter where you try to go, all roads lead back to one person who is the root of why they are the way they are, unfortunately, and why they have this disdain for actual hip-hop, culture, and artistry. And it's not just that Aiden's a clown, and that's that, but it's that beyond that clown that we all see. There is somebody who is making him run the entire circus, and that is none other than Drake. And as we know, Drake and Aiden are good friends, and Drake wishes him happy birthdays publicly because he likes him so much, and Drake thinks that that's a normal and cool thing to do at this point where he's at. And of course, these two have done multiple streams together where we have seen them buddy-buddy, and they really do seem to talk pretty often because they're always appearing on one another's things. I mean, when you look at it like that, of course Aiden is not going to like somebody who was winning so much during the time where Drake said that rap was in a weird NBA season directly to him when they were on stream for the Drism event. And I mean, beyond just winning when Drake was saying that rap was weird and it was ruined from Kendrick Lamar. And really, that's still what they're saying, and that's still why they're doing this. Speaking of Kendrick Lamar's Doi is signed to none other than Top Dog Entertainment, which is of course where Kendrick and even SZA are from Aiden Raw's Academics, to XQC, to all of these other clowns who love these people who grift hip-hop culture and look up to Drake like he is Tupac. The disgust they have for DOE is a direct result of that. And really, if DOI was not signed to the label that Kendrick Lamar is from, and that is winning the entire music industry over right now with everything they are doing, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Clearly, I mean, if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't see all these pages and people who conveniently have ties to Drake and who have supported him no matter what and are really going to go down with him, if that has to happen, go after this new artist who is becoming a star and who is winning and having a bigger rise than ever with the help of the label. That also helped Kendrick, SZA, and her all get to the point where they are at this very moment. And with Aiden Ross, this is what's so weird about this, all because really, with these thoughts about Doi Drake, and him must have had a lot of conversations behind the scenes. And Drake really must feel away and be bothered about her because between both the talking points that Aiden Ross is using to discredit her, which we could say have came from somebody like Academics, because that's all he does, and then with the animosity that we hear in his voice, which is so personal. I mean, overall, Aiden is pushing all of the narratives that have tried to be used by Team Drake to go against Kendrick. And then, of course, try to trick these people who are not rap fans, but Drake stands into believing that Kendrick Lamar is the worst thing ever that's happened to hip-hop, and that Drake is the hero. And I mean, when it comes to this effort and campaign that has been designed by what I am going to call Drake's Legion of Lame, to try and make sure that Kendrick Lamar and his side of hip-hop does not gain any more wins and break out any more stars. This is where the entire narrative of DOI being an industry plan came from, because first of all, in the entire music industry, not just has there been so many actual industry plans who have come out recently, who Drake has collabed with even and hyped up himself, and who Aiden has even streamed or collabed with in some way on his own, and beyond just that, who nobody else ever said anything about, because they never noticed or thought this, because Academics TV was not yelling at them every day in their face about it. But with Doi, if we actually want to look at her career, she had a platinum record in 2022 and was big then, and already did a tour opening up for Dojot way before all of this stuff. And when she was just a rising star with a few big records, and back then, before she was connected to Kendrick Lamar, and this beef happened, nobody ever said a thing about her. But now, because she is signed to Top Dog Entertainment, and we are in an era where anyone close to them, and Kendrick will get hated on because this other side of hip-hop, and people have nothing else to try and take down these artists with other than just ridiculous campaigns that are geared at the most random and obscure things they could possibly get at. I mean, with all of this, they have decided to try and label DOI as an industry plan and ignore not just years and years of hard work, because even with her most recent hit, which Aiden says he doesn't like that song, was made 5 years ago and just happened to blow up, so she put it out now. But even if we go back to 2024, if we look at what DOI has done to get to this point, she has just put the work in to be on the verge of superstardom. Because with her debut mixtape on TDE selling 11K first week, and now with it being one of the top 5 highest performing albums of this year, and it being one of the most streamed albums in rap period, and it has multiple massive songs that are still on the Billboard Hot 100 after all of this time. I mean, if you just look at where Doi was at when her record dropped on TDE and where she is at now, she has only been able to make this record get Grammy-inning and high mainstream success. With hard work that was done by delivering great performances, whether it was a tiny desk, a music festival like Camp Fagnawa or something else, or it was just actually pushing and expanding the universe of what she built more and more by releasing great music videos to complete her art, like we saw with Denial is a River, and again now, while hip-hop has seen all of this hard work, and it has led to Doi getting cosigns from people like Tyler, the Creator, and Kendrick Lamar, who called her their favorite rappers and the hardest rapper out, and even beyond just them legends like Lauren. Hill brought her out on stage for these weirdos who don't like rap and just want to be these weird career-long grifters, chair sniffers, and whatever we even call Drake. Now they won't acknowledge the actual work and story that has happened because they don't actually like reality, and they only like making up their own narratives. And they are going to act like none of this ever happened, because then it does not fit the narratives that they have been pushing to take this artist down simply because they don't like her because of her rise, and who she stands in the way of, which is of course the guy that Aiden makes the worst duo with in none other than Drake. Now with Aiden doubling down on his comments about Doi in another awful clip. I mean, with him trying to call out this video of her with the umbrellas at the Met Gala and say that he is doing this because he respects 9-to-5 workers. This is what it really takes to be the grifter that Aiden is, because he is just deflecting. To try and get people to think that he is right here and that he is standing with them, when in reality, while the Doechii clip with the umbrellas does not look the best, and I mean even everybody has already made fun of that, including Doi herself. First off, the people who were helping DOI were all from her team, and I am sure understand how to work with her, and with an event like this, judge somebody by just that would not be fair. Especially when every other time we have seen Doi, she has had the utmost professionalism and really seems like a great person. And even if this video was bad, Aiden's reaction still does not match up with what happened in the first place. And even with the grift he is trying to use to cover this all up, there is still something that is just so disturbing about these comments, which are going to be remembered by everyone who is rooting for hip-hop and Doechii, because she is more talented than not just somebody like Aiden, but most new rappers, period. And so overall, what everyone needs to see is that all this fake outrage over Doi has been a planted lie to try and ruin one of the most exciting new artists that we have seen in hip-hop in quite a while. And now, maybe for Aiden Drake and the rest of these guys, if they were a little smarter, maybe this plan would work for Aiden, just ruining his reputation to any remaining hip-hop heads with what he just did by going so overboard and showing that he is doing all of this to try and give the world more of this in terms of ever having any sort of merit or respect in hip-hop again, while those weird fans are always going to follow him to actually be respected in this space that you keep trying to assert yourself as a voice. And that's all over, and for Aiden Ross, just please never speak again on hip-hop. Because I am sure, just like the rest of your friends, you should be paying attention more to the weird things that may be going on within your circle than what other artists are trying to do to make the craft that they are in better off in the long run. And so now with all this said, let me know. What do you think about the mess Aiden Ross has created here? What do you think about the backlash he is getting? Do you think it's deserved? And what do you think about how they have been trying to make this entire industry-wide campaign to try and ruin DOI's image? What do you think this is going to do for both of them going forward? And how do you think DOI should respond to this? I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this. And now, if you made it to this point in the video, Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. It helps me out a ton. And now, if you want to see how, in this time, right before Aiden Ross just made it embarrassing that people like him can even speak on hip-hop, we just saw that lyrical rap is making a comeback with one of the best moments we have seen in quite a while. You really don't want to miss this one. So check out the suggested video, hey,